Hey folks, welcome to Market Technical Analysis by InTheMoneyStocks.com for September 28th, 2007. Well, today was the end of the quarter, and as the end of the quarter came to a close, we saw some peculiar volume trends. Over Thursday and Friday, the last 2 days, volume was extremely light. And this is the chart of the ES intraday, and we saw some interesting patterns forming here as well intraday. What I would like to say is we commented yesterday in the video about how light trading was volume when it came to the ES. We only did a little over 1 million contracts yesterday, and we only did about 1.4 million today. Average volume, when you don't have holidays or long weekends and stuff like that going on, in the ES is borderline 2 million, it should be at least. And today, again, we only got to 1.4 million. And that's interesting to note because usually at the end of the quarter you're seeing window dressing. And window dressing in particular is when fund managers, mutual fund managers, portfolio managers, they all try to put the best stocks from the quarter in their portfolio, make them look as pretty as possible, kind of like put that big red bow on a package before they give it to their clients to see how they performed. And they always want to show that they had Google in their portfolio or Baidu because those stocks have run up recently quite nicely. Any stock that ran up nicely, it's always better to show that you have that in your portfolio because, again, the client sees that. In any case, we saw very light volume today, and it was a very whippy day. Even though it wasn't like we were dropping drastically, although at the lows down here on the NASDAQ, we were down about 17, 18 points, we still only closed pretty much slightly lower on all indexes today. And on the NASDAQ, we closed down 8 points, on the Dow down 17, on the S&P down 4.5. And what we also saw was an interesting reversal in oil today. And I'm going to bring up the USO before we get in this, guys. This is the USO gapped up today, and this is the United States Oil Fund. We gapped up, meaning oil was up today. We saw a steep sell-off coinciding with the market selling, and then we rallied back up and saw another steep sell here and a bottoming out. Now, this is a key reversal for oil, and I'm going to point this out, guys. Notice this candle. This is not a good candle. What you see, it's almost a bearish engulfing candle of the previous candle here. Now, that can be a big bear signal for oil, and we'll have to watch that into next week, all right? But we would not be surprised to see oil dip down to this 20 moving average here before it gets a bounce. On the USO, that's about $60.14, or basically $60 on the USO, while it's trading at about $62.55. Now, what's phenomenal about this is we did take advantage of this in one of our Swing Trade Alerts, which is a subscriber service on the website, and I won't divulge which one we're in, but it was a great play. We got filled on the gap up this morning, and with the reversal, we're up on that position over $1 already. Just a phenomenal fill on that position and a great move there. All right. Now, in addition, what I also want to talk about is gold. The U.S. dollar continues to hit new lows against the euro, and in tune, gold is continuing to climb. While oil did reverse here, gold has continued to climb, and you can see here the GLD continue to move up right here. Okay. In addition, we saw gold up today a total of $10.10, and gold is approaching that 800 pretty quickly. Now, again, we do think that soon we will probably see that bottom forming on the dollar, though it looks like things could go down a little more before we bottom out on that dollar. The oil, however, was down $1.22, and we mentioned that big reversal. So even though gold was up today, we see the oil reversing to the downside. Now, what I'm going to get into here is we're going to look at the ES chart, and I want to talk a little bit about this. This is the daily chart of the ES, and you can see how the ES was pretty much flat. Ever since the Fed came out, the ES is in a trend here. Now, the NASDAQ's been in an uptrend since that, but the ES right here, the S&P futures, have really been in a very tight trend. And it's going to be interesting to see. If we take out this high on the ES right here, we could see a move back up to the highs here. And that's, again, we've been mentioning this over the course of the last few days on this. So, again, notice this trend we're in. We're hitting the top, bouncing down, hitting the bottom, bouncing up, and so back and forth. Now, which way do we break out? We are seeing some slight signs of a possible weakening in the market for next week, and we'll monitor that every day as we talk in these videos. But please keep that in mind. What I also want to show you here is the main trend line we're following on the downside. And I pointed this out in multiple videos before, but a move down in this and a break of this line, a close below this green line I just drew in, which would coincide with the 20 moving average, could signal a new sell-off, and we'll watch that. If it does sell off below that, then you're looking for a double bottom in the range of between these two lines coinciding with this bottom right here. So it should come down right in this area should we close below that line. Okay? Now on the NASDAQ, what's interesting about the NASDAQ here, guys, is that the NASDAQ's been the stronger of the index. Ever since the Fed came out, while the ES was a straight line across, the NASDAQ's been trending up. So notice which index is the stronger one here. So if we do happen to fall, you can expect that the weaker indexes will take the brunt of the force, even though all indexes will fall in tune. Now notice again the stochastics. I talked about this yesterday. When you flatline on the top and you don't get very much volatility, spike up and spike down, that's usually the nearing of a topping pattern in the market. And I do think at some point this NASDAQ needs to come down and touch this 20 moving average. We'll continue to update you on that next week as well. Now the next thing I want to talk about is a little day trading action, guys, and some intraday plays and some overnight plays. And this is where I get excited, because the intraday stock chat has just been a monster. We have such a great group of guys and girls in there, and everyone's a great trader. Everyone's listening. Everyone's learning. And I just pointed out yesterday, I know I mentioned we were having a phenomenal week, and the week continued today. One thing I want to point out here is this stock right here. Yesterday in the video, you guys know I mentioned it at one point when talking about the day trading, we had something on our watch list that it was going to break out. Well, guess what? The stock was Tizu, and right here, it opened up this morning, right here. The second it opened up about above 20, and I want to show you this, alright? Check this out, guys. I want you to note this here, alright? Right here, the high right here, 1975. The high right here, $20. The high here, $20. The high the day after, $20. What that's telling me as a trader is that $20, a break of 20 signals a buy program. Okay? When you have 3 hits of 20, one here, and one here, and it can't get through, just like when you're hitting a door with your fist or with your body, you hit it multiple times, it's not going to break the first few times. The first time it does break, you go flying through to the other side. It's super speed. You know, you almost fall over because you go through so hard. And that's exactly what we had been talking about in the chat room. And today, lo and behold, it opened up here above $20. Buy, 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 buy. Up that stock went immensely, guys. You're talking about going from $20 to a high of $25 in one day. All right, we banked over almost $1,500 on this one play in the chat room today. All right, all in all, we did almost $2,000 in revenue today in that chat room, in profit. All right, for the week in that chat room, you're talking about monster numbers in that portfolio. All right, you're talking upwards of $4,000 or $5,000 for the week, and in every month we started 27,000. So you're talking about percentage returns right now in this market of just immense. Now, granted, I will give the normal disclosure. You know, as being the advanced trader that we are at InTheMoneyStocks.com, we're inevitably going to probably do better than the average person. You know, we are experienced traders, but nonetheless, there's no reason why everyone in the chat room shouldn't be making money, and they are. You know, they get filled smaller positions. They probably take smaller positions, but they're doing very, very well as well. And for $199 a month, how do you go wrong? You know, when you make one play, $1,300, that pays basically for a year of service. You know, it's borderline, 6 months to a year of service there, and especially with the discounts we give on 6-month subscriptions. So in any case, my point being is, guys, there are more of these than I can count. We saw JRJC, which we talked about recently, rolling over. Look at this stock chart, topping out yesterday. We talked about this. We said a break of this low, it sells off more. So be it, it did. We talked about that in the video yesterday. CPSL, look at this topping pattern for a short there. Now, this was not shortable for me. I don't know if other people could short it, but it was a dead short up here, and we talked about that as being a dead short at $12. It's now $7.79. Long story short, guys, I can talk till I'm blue in the face, but the market for day trading right now is absolutely phenomenal. And, if you're a beginner, come learn with us, We'll do our best to teach you. Just come join us. You'll have fun, in the very least, and it's a small amount of outlay. In addition, we'll talk a little bit about different swing trade alerts. We've got some swing trade alerts right now, and if the market does happen to do what we think it will next week, they're going to do very, very well. So we do encourage you guys, for $99 a month, give it a shot. In addition, guys, what I want to point out here, and as we're flipping through some intraday stock charts, we do have a play in the intraday stock chat that I won't divulge, but we did very well into the close, and we are holding it till Monday, and I can't obviously talk about it. But we think that one will perform very well. We were up already about, just from where we entered it today, we're up about 7-8% on it, and we're holding it into Monday, and we're hoping to get another 10% out of it on Monday. We'll see if it happens. Anything can happen in this market, but we do like it. In other words, what I'm saying here, guys, also is we also are giving an apprentice seminar course on the internet, which is called a webinar. And those of you guys that want to learn all these signals about on Tizu, how I knew this was going to do this, how we called this in the chat room days before, this is what we're going to show you guys. We're going to show you how chart patterns do this, how you have breakouts, where to know how to buy, at what price is this closing. Because it wasn't just the fact that we hit the 20 moving average here. It was also that Priceline, a competitor, has been trading at 52-week highs almost every day in the last month. Priceline's just been going sky high, and here Tizu is trading near its low. They do the same thing, essentially. In addition, you had yesterday the first close above the 20 and the 50 combined. The day before it closed on the 50. Yesterday it closed above the 50. So the fact that it hit the 20 marker three times, it finally closed above the 20 and the 50. In addition, you have Priceline going to new highs and all these other companies going to new highs that do the same thing as Tizu. I put all in all together, and it does that. All right, guys, that's what's going to happen. In other words, you just have to look for as many coinciding factors as possible, and it'll give you a good sense of where that stock is going. All right, guys, have a wonderful weekend. Keep track of this market. It's going to be another wild week next week. Come join us. We'll talk to you soon.